where they make up lies on people like us, on foundational Black Americans. What do you suggest we do as a whole group of people in our professional lives to fight, what's being done to us, mostly by immigrants? Like I would say, Indians. It's mostly Indians, Nigerians, and like Somalians. I just see them throwing us under the bus, making up things, and things like that. What do you suggest we do to thwart that situation?
Great question. Now, my wife, as you guys know, we just had a new baby a couple of weeks ago. At the hospital, there were different nurses. One of the nurses was an East Indian woman, and my wife felt very uncomfortable with that East Indian woman. She had a lot of real funny style energy. She was overly aggressive about a lot of things and made my wife very uncomfortable. So I let them know to bring in another damn nurse. So we have to go out of our way to avoid a lot of these vitriolic tethers who are among us when we're in situations where we're basically stuck to deal with them at your job. If you're dealing with one of these non-FBA tethers that has hostile energy, just look at them as another hostile white person at the job, just a white person with a tan, and treat them accordingly. You know how when you have white people at the job who are funny style, you just kind of avoid them. You don't let them get too much into your business and just keep them at arm's length, and you do your job, get your money. Do the same thing with these tethers, because what they'll do, they'll send these tethers down acting as a supervisor, and then they'll try to sister girl you and get you comfortable so that you can tell your business, so they can go relay that back to the boss and then undermine you or send you down to HR for saying something to them that they didn't snitched on you about. Avoid them like the plague. Treat them like white people or treat them like snitches at the job, but don't let them mess your money up.
Thank you.
And that's a really good start to it. And
Oh,
also
sorry.
another thing is make sure you're excellent. Excellence is how you stop that kind of thing from happening. You can't be mediocre and then shut things down. You have to be excellent at it, because if you're going to talk about being Black professionals, that's another way of saying that we're not entry level employees. We're excellent at it. The other thing is, people who are excellent also need to have a code amongst each other. So our generation needs to understand, look here, it's survival at stake. You don't have the option of being an island of one. So first and foremost is be excellent, because if you're just mediocre, your complaints fall on deaf ears. If you are excellent at your job, you're the best of the best, that goes a whole lot further. So those would be two main things I would say, in addition to what Tariq said.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Thank you both so much.
V1, Nikki, thank you so much. I think it was on Chef, and then we're gonna go to Black Alpha Network.
Hey, peace to the gods, the goddesses in the room. Brother Sage, when you plan on pulling up on dude? Because I can slide over the bridge. It's light. I'm about 10 minutes away.
Possibly tomorrow, most likely. Just
That's a bet.
shoot me. This is recording, so DM me.
All right, you got it.
So you could DM me.
All right, so yeah, definitely. Now with that being said, family, Mega, make ICE great again. Very controversial when I first came in these spaces speaking that and talking that shit. And now we see, with the comfortability that these anchor babies have, they just throwing nothing but disrespect all over us. I got ICE on speed dial for all of them niggas. Okay? I want everybody to understand ICE is paying up. Get your weight up, right? You want a second income, whatever the fuck it is. I've made 5 calls. I plan on getting my numbers up, just like that coon said when he was talking to Trump. I got to get my numbers up. Niggas got to go back home. We got to use whatever we have, family, right? This is war. This is not, there's nothing about being politically correct about this shit. We are cornered. We need to use every fucking tool at our disposal to get these niggas out the paint, or at least scare the shit out of them. Because this goofy motherfucker is too comfortable with coming in these spaces with his chest up. We got to send him back over the sands with his sandals burning up in the motherfucking desert. I'll land with that.
And to the tether that's probably listening, I got 2 brothers on stage that will be willing to probably bail me out. So just in case anything happens and you get hurt, these brothers will take care of the bill. I'm just saying. Continue
All day. Let me be very clear. That's not an idle threat all day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just make the call. That's all. That's all you got to do. Don't even tell me what you did.
That's why the people love you. Continue, Jesse.
It's supposed to go on Black Alpha Network. Then we're going to go to Irie, then Wayne, then The Hard Black Truth.
And a peace, family. Certified salute. Much respect to the host. Much respect to everybody in the room. I just want to piggyback and chime in on some of the points that brothers and sisters have already made, because you've made a lot of great points. I like to look at things like historically and put them in categories. And right now, what I've noticed is this is the gatekeeping era. And a bunch of brothers have already made this point, but this is the gatekeeping era, the regulating era. And anybody who's out of pocket, out of code, you're getting G-check. You're getting spotlighted. You're getting ran off the block. And that's what we're doing right now. And by us doing that, these tethers are shook. That guy can say whatever he wants. They can act all high and mighty, but they know deep down inside they're shook, because foundational Black Americans have truly regulated our culture. We regulated our lineage, our heritage. Everything is about us. It starts with us. It ends with us. Our money staying in-house. We're not going out building everybody else and having nothing to come home to. We're making it about ourselves, and that's the most important point. And when you look at it right now, these coons, quite frankly, the tethers in particular, they're in a point where they're transitioning. They're having a job transition. They used to be moochers, where they would just come in our house, take the food directly off our plate, walk out, go take it back to the house. They can't do that no more, because we made it airtight and we let them know you're not going to do any of that. So what they're doing, they're trying to transition from moochers into just agitators. And that's that backstabbing culture that we speak about that they come from. It's that if I can't have it, nobody can have it. It's just like Brother Tariq was talking about on the job. How at the job, if they can't get what you got at the job, they'll sabotage the whole ship. That's exactly what they do, and they do that all the time. So they're trying to do that to us politically the same way they do that to us socially, and we're not going for it. And they're scared to death right now. They don't really know what to do. Back in the old days when we used to let people share our culture and let everybody come in and everybody can get a piece of the pie, they love that. That was fun to them, because they can cloak themselves in our whole heritage. Now we're pointing them out. I love the term non-FBA. When we say somebody's non-FBA, that's my favorite thing, because we checking their hairlines, we checking that fake accent. Anytime we see it, you getting ran off the block, so you can't come, you can't perpetrate, you can't camouflage, and none of that's working anymore. So I like the point as well when we talk about the diaspora war. Everyone says a diaspora war. There's no diaspora war. It's foundational Black Americans minding our own foundational Black American business, and a bunch of people trying to tether themselves to us. That's all it is. That's very similar to when the dominant society says reverse racism. Reverse racism, it goes both ways. It don't go both ways. No. It's us doing our own thing, staying in our own lane, and everybody having a problem with us. So as we look at them as tethers and they tether to us, they mimic the dominant society. So anytime you have an engagement with one of these people, it sounds just like talking to a white person. So basically, like Tariq was saying, they're basically just dominant society in blackface, in tether form. So these $2 tethers right now, they're shook, they're terrified. And this is what happens when FBA stays on code. We gatekeep, we run people off the block. They have no place. As soon as the term African American left, so did these African tethers and every other tether out there. We've been going down one by one, cleaning house, regulating, and I love it. I'm glad to be a part of it. So I salute everybody out there. Let's keep the pressure on them 24/7. Appreciate the love, everybody. Black Alpha.
Just real quick, y'all. There's the petition to get an anti-black hate bill in the Jumbotron. Some people are saying if you're in California, you can get there. They'll need support at the capital of Sacramento. And someone said they are HR person. If you are in an environment with like even anti-Black American, Black immigrants, you need to treat it as if it was with white people. You go to HR, you make complaints about a hostile work environment. Just want to share what some people have sent to me.
Yes, indeed. There's a sister in San Diego. She's a superintendent at a school board. She made a very harmless comment saying about how Asian immigrants, they come over and thrive because many of them come from wealthy families. They fired that sister because of that. They said, well, that's anti-Asian hate for telling the truth like that. And they just fired that sister. So they don't let Black folks say anything, no matter how true it is. And it's not even an epithet. When we say something, well, they immediately drop the hammer down on us, but we play this little kumbaya game with all these other groups. We have to drop the hammer on them too.
I want to speak on that also about dropping the hammer to what the man was saying here before, what the brother said here before. I think Wayne was talking about how it basically was referencing what I've talked about before about these people come from backstabbing cultures. You want to talk about the culture and different what's FBA culture versus theirs. These other folks from the Dominican Republic, Hispaniola, call it whatever you will, Nigeria, Africa, all these other folks, we need to understand something. You go take a look where they come from. They come from backstabbing cultures. They come from cultures where filling on the kids is normal in the family. They come from cultures where nobody loans anybody money because nobody gets paid back. They come from cultures where when they get on, they pull up the bridge behind them. They get what they need, and then everybody else is just struggling and straggling. They come from cultures where half the population is willing to sell out the other half of the population to the white government or the Russians or the Asians or whoever is in power this week. They come from cultures where that happens. And that's strange to them to come among us. You want to know why we were able to succeed? Because we don't have a backstabbing culture. Because we created terms like Uncle Tom during slavery. No, that wasn't something given to us by white folk. We didn't do, those were not terms that had to be given to us by the dominant society. That was something we created and that they still don't have over there to this day. And the few people who do have that concept got it from us. They didn't get it from anybody else. Shout out to my brother Julius Malema over there in South Africa. But let's just keep it all the way real. After apartheid, they opened the damn doors to their former oppressors, and they're sitting here living right next. I would say they're living next door to them, but they're actually living way across the street from them, is where they're at today. So they come from backstabbing cultures. So this is why we cannot really take any lead from them as far as how we proceed, how we reconcile. No, we're going to write all the terms because you don't understand what it means to be a culture that works together. And before they try to tell you anything about Chicago or whatever, I'll be damned. The Pork and Beans and Little Haiti down there in Florida has got its own damn TV show, The First 48. It getting killed down there happens so regularly. You can set up your cameras and have, by the way, not just set up your cameras, you can catch the suspect within 2 days. That's how damn frequent it is. Back up office.
Brother Flex, you got something for us?
And I'm gonna build on what my brother was saying, man. The image of the Sambo sellout, we got to understand that image became popularized really with non-FBA tethers. A sister earlier mentioned step and fetch it and how step and fetch it is used as a euphemism and an epithet among Black people who coon it up. We have to remember step and fetch it was non-FBA. He's Caribbean. William Perry, he's a Caribbean dude. And Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, we've always looked down upon step and fetch it. It was Black people, Black organizations writing to the movie studio saying, hey, this is not our image. This negative image of us, we don't like this. We've always spoke out against these negative images of us portrayed by a lot of these non-FBA tethers who like to promote that. Fast forward to today, when you look at negative images of foundational Black Americans, especially online, where do we see it coming from? Bossip, non-FBA owned. Madame Noir, non-FBA owned. Shade Room, non-FBA owned. World Star, non-FBA owned. Media Takeout, trash website, non-FBA owned. Look at the common denominator. We kept looking at this and seeing these are not our people putting these images out here. And by the way, those websites that I named, I have to pull teeth with these people in order to show something positive. These people never want to show commercials for our films. They don't want to show anything positive. Why? Because when we wake people up, they'll lose their audience. They make money and they get views for us being not awake, us being dumb as hell. That's the image that they like to promote because these are the tethers who want to come and replace us when we're being ignorant as hell. That's what they want. That's the image that they want to promote so that they can come in and take our places. So we have to understand that dynamic.
Oh, not just that, Tariq. Shade Room in particular, you all can go look this up. I think on YouTube, I posted a video about this years ago, why they held that up as a paragon of entrepreneurship, even though she took the damn, I think it was student loan money, whatever, and took the damn money and off she goes to go put it into the Shade Room because she didn't want to work. Yep. So she didn't even earn the damn money that she got to start the Shade Room. And the white media was sitting up there applauding that. Now, if that had been some Black folk who did that, if that had been some foundationals who did that, why, they'd be talking about welfare queen, malfeasance of funds. Hell, they probably would have come and did them with a RICO case. Probably would have done that. But they sat up here and congratulated her for doing that. couldn't. I mean, in the media piece there, you would have thought that this was just the normal way of doing things. No, she tricked off the damn money. So yes, she did invest it, and I guess it turned out okay in the meantime. But let's be very, very clear in that case. They treat these like these are entrepreneurs of the year. They've done stories on Gossip, Shade Room. They were cheering about it. That's the kind of thing that they promote. Meanwhile, with the new black media, if you let them tell it we don't even exist, which I'm cool with, to be totally honest, because we still bust through. But never forget, they love boosting that kind of thing. They don't even have to ask for it.
And the thing is, when we go over to Africa or in the Caribbean and show anything negative, they have a hissy fit. When Kendrick Lamar was just over there in Africa, all he did was just start filming. They were all on Twitter calling him all types of names, talking about how he shouldn't show that. When I went to South Africa, I just turned the camera on and started filming. When I went over to some of these other countries and started filming, they were all online saying, hey, don't show that. That's not what we really are. I'm like, yeah, it is what you really are. I'm not saying anything negative. I'm just showing what's going on over here. They don't like any negative images about what's going on over there, but they come over here and find the first hood rat and dusty nigga they can find and put them on a website and blow it up.
And get tons of seed money.
Yep.
Tons of investment. They get preferential treatment. It shouldn't be any surprise. I don't know if Tariq has the same issue that I have, but I have to make Just Eve a co-host because I can't see any of the people with their hands raised. So if you all want to know what happened for the first 3 weeks of my Twitter space, I couldn't see any of you. I can only see one or two of you. And she's telling me later that her hands up the whole time, a dozen other people's hands up. I can't see any of them. So we get penalized by these white platforms. We get penalized by the media. These other folk are getting, forget immigration alone, they're getting a hell of a whole, they're getting tons of free monetary, it's worth monetary value. They're getting tons of promotion, tons of elevation without having to ask for any of it. So they're getting a whole bunch of help and then telling you, you need to work harder. No, we don't.
And our brother, Professor Black Truth, they got a ban on his page now. And that brother doesn't show, he doesn't curse, he doesn't do anything. He just tells the truth. And they got his page banned right now. They got a strike on him on YouTube. He can't post on YouTube for about a week or so. They always mess with Jason's page. They always shadow ban my page. I'm just talking about the news. Now, these other websites, Shade Room and all of these other people, World Star, they show people getting beat up, murdered, people with ashy butt cheeks twerking left and right, foul, degenerate behavior. You notice they never get banned from nowhere. They never get banned. They never get any strikes. They let debauchery just run free with these tethers promoting the most negative images of us. So that shows you how these people understand how white society lets them denigrate us.
I hate to go too big on this, but folks, I mean, if you want to see something that's ban worthy, I'll be damned. Cardi B literally has 2 videos showing full frontal nudity on YouTube. Now that's not art. That's not some art piece. This is shake your butt cheeks and wet ass, this, that, and the other. And that's okay. That's not going to get a strike. That's going to get promoted to hundreds of millions of views. But we talk about the news. We talk about events, and all of a sudden you can get a strike on. My YouTube channel just got struck here a couple of weeks ago. They were talking about hate speech for talking about the Black News channel getting shut down. Hate speech. I'm like, where was the hate speech part of it? Somebody show me. It ain't there. So that's the thing we routinely run into. But Cardi B is good money. Kodak Black is good money. What we're doing, somehow there's a problem. No, you ain't worked your way towards nothing, just the useful tools being promoted.
For the record, I don't know if it's having YouTube in this room or not, but I can't see anyone. That's why I allowed Just Eve to be up here also. I can't see nothing. So, yeah.
And I'm being as diplomatic as possible, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate everybody being patient. So if I already said you could speak, go ahead and speak. And then other new people to the room, we will get to you as we get to you. So Black First Family. And I think it's on Irie. Is it on you?
Yes, it is. Thank you, Sister Eve. Brother Sage, thank you. Brother Marcel, Brother Tariq, Brother Jason Black, good to talk to you again. It's Brother Khalif. Good to be in the space with you, my brother. It is definitely a blessing to go ahead and chop this up. I was in there in the first room when Brother Marcel brought this person on, and didn't have a clue about what was going on with the situation. And I believe Brother Marcel was actually acting in good faith when he just brought him on to explain himself, give him space to actually, repent pretty much if that be the true essence of what the space was intended to do. That dude, he just had this type of vehement hatred, type of white, almost like a white KKK or white nationalist type of ideology, and that he wasn't able to see any wrong in his doings. He wasn't able to come to any form of repentance in his actions. And then I believe we were stopping short on literally the first sentence, but we never really took a sense of looking at what he embodied in his second sentence, because it embodies all of us. And then so we went. I opened up a space after that, and then I looked at his history about Akata and the word Akata, and it was literally 10 years ago in 2012 that he mentioned the Akata, a useless group. And so I've seen a pattern in practice there, and a continuance of such behavior since 2012. And so pretty much I was dead set on knowing that this person is not only just operating in cosplay because he had Tupac Shakur in the top. He came in and said, Malcolm X is my hero. And I noticed that there's this type of mimic, if anybody's seen that movie, or just the wheat and the tares in the field. And then I remember how the good servant said, my enemy did this. My enemy sowed these tares in my field, but wait to harvest. And I believe we're in that harvest period where we're separating the seed from the shaft, and we're separating ideologies. I mean, the identities of the wheat and the tares, and we're putting the wheat in a good space or in a secured space, which is called the storehouse, and the everything else is going in the fire. And the purpose of the fire is good in the garden, and it makes useful for all of the things that come from it. And I believe that this natural fire that's happening in the midst of us right now, bringing us together in this space and in this time, is for clarity purposes, and it also is for security and refining purposes. This person was able to operate in our country with such beliefs and such acts. And I believe this is also telling to a historical perspective, especially during reparations time, to atone for our ancestrals' purgatory that they have went through, and understanding that this person has been operating under the guise of blackness, and as one of the sisters stated earlier, almost in this cosplay of saying that, in America he can pass as a black dude, almost like a Toby Smelly. But we see that whenever we get down to the substance of the matter, or get down to their fruits, tangibly to their interpersonal relationships with people, we're finding them to be vehemently distasteful and operating in bad faith, even in their personal private relationships. So I do think it's very telling that we're able to identify these type of characters in our midst. Again, separating that wheat from the tares type of actions. And also, I reported him not only just to, I'm going to do the Pace University, but I also reported him to the FBI, Department of Homeland Security, and Capitol Hill Police for terroristic threats. And it's actually pretty appalling to me that Twitter has the gall to give me notices when I want to post a tweet about something that they consider sensitive or harmful language. But this tweet here is talking about our sitting Black American judge, and he's getting hate threats not only against himself, but his community and his group specifically. And so I find it very open threat opportunity on the board. But I also see this refining of security within ourselves, and I'll trust us more than I'll trust any of my enemies any day. And I'll say much love to the family, and we're definitely going to get these reparations because that's what they fear most of all anything. Thank you, Jason Black, and thank you, Brother Tariq, for your hard work. Brother Marcel, for presenting this to us. Brother Sage and Sister Eve for having this space. You guys are doing a great job. Much love to you and blessings to you all. Thank you, family.
Black first tea, brother. Thank you so much. Wayne, go ahead. You have your hand up. Free R. Kelly. I know you want to speak, but we're going to go the hard black truth after Wayne.
Cool. Appreciate it. Thanks, Judge Steve. Appreciate it. Shout out to Tyreek, you know what I'm saying? The host, Jason, definitely Marcel in the building. Real quick, one thing, and it's unique because I know, Jason and Tyreek always have a unique way of, having a dialogue with people and jokes get made and stuff like that. But someone said something about this earlier. It's like, has anyone ever been kicking with their friends? I had a homegirl just come out of the pocket and say something about like lynching as a joke and things of that nature. With, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's not even something your boy would say when he's drunk, you know what I'm saying? Just tripping like, yeah, man, so it's like a whole level of like, nah, like that's just, out there. And then I wanted to just throw this out there and I'll make it real quick. Tyreek touched on this many times months ago, how they're trying to infiltrate. They've been doing this in the technology sector where they're getting these internships, grants, all kinds of stuff like that, coming to these IT companies with their same level of ideology, things of that nature. These IT companies are getting kickback because they've been getting all these flack for the last years about, oh, there's not enough minority representation and stuff like that. So they're integrating some uniqueness with that, to say the least. And the last thing I'll say is, on some of these spaces, they're jumping in and talking about, oh, my sister is Nigerian and she was in the slave trade, so we're owed reparations too. So they got some weird stuff they're coming up with right now. I'm trying to just throw that out there. So I lay my play there. You know what I'm saying? Marcel, much love. Your campaign people hit me up trying to actually have me send an invoice for the billboards, and I told them last time I talked to them, I haven't heard back. Just let them know it's all love. Like me and you talked about before, I made that contribution where the money was coming from and all that good stuff like that. So I didn't want anything kicked back. You know what I mean? So I didn't want them to take it as an offense, and I just wanted to clear the air with that.
Now, you made a good point, brother, about how a lot of these tethers are now trying to latch on to the reparations claim, because understand, for a long time, they were the main ones telling us, you shut up, nigga. You're not going to get no handout, nigga. You're not going to get nothing. They were the main ones trying to undermine us and discourage us from fighting for our reparations. Now that we have a real movement going on and we are not wavering from it, and we're delineating ourselves from all of the other tether groups, they're trying to now word things in a way so they can somehow get a kickback. First, they don't want us to do the lineage thing. They're the main ones talking about, well, I'm black too, and I have some discrimination too. No, not the same. We're not talking. That's not reparations. That's a whole different claim. So now they're trying to use our terms, and they're trying to find a way to flip it. Again, I talked about this the other day, how one tether was like, well, yeah, I'm from Africa, but what if I had a brother or a great grandparent who was sold into slavery? Would that make me a descendant of FBA? No, it doesn't. We're not letting y'all play these little word games that you try to twist up and try to make yourself an FBA. You're not going to do that at all. This is for foundational Black Americans. If you come over here as an immigrant, you've already came up. You've already gotten something for nothing. You've already gotten some unearned benefits. We're trying to get something that we're owed. These are not unearned benefits. We're trying to get a debt that is owed to us, that happened to our family. We are our family, because I hear a lot of arguments talking about, well, that happened to your grandparents or great grandparents. We are our ancestors. Our ancestors are us. So that happened to us because we still feel the deprivation of that lineage. So we're talking about a very specific debt owed to a specific people.
Brother Black, you got anything for us?
No, Tariq said it well. I think he said it well.
All right, we're moving right along. Let's go to the hard black truth. The hard black truth. Then free R. Kelly.
Hey, Black First to the family. I really do appreciate this space. And shout out to you guys, Tariq Nasheed, Jason Black. Just want to just send y'all all my love and blessings, man. Y'all put me on to a whole lot. And I'm glad that I was able to really listen to you guys, for the better part of a decade, you know what I'm saying? And get put on some game for real, for real. What we see taking place here today, I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I'm really feeling it. We saw people come together who are like polarized against each other, but we all came together for this. And I think that should be remembered. White supremacy knows exactly what they've been doing. And you, Tariq, and Jason, you've been making it clear that they've been using folks like myself against Black people. That shit ain't right. And you motherfuckers have been putting it out there, and continue to spread the word, and to anybody who might be in their feelings about it. Oh, well, this has to take place. And I'm going to just land my plane with that.
Much respect. Thank you so much for speaking the hard black truth. Go ahead, free R. Kelly.
Hey, peace to the family, peace to the tribe. Like, it's a beautiful thing just seeing how on code everybody is, and how on code our people are getting, because like now more than ever, we got to understand, like, we all we got, but like, like Brother Tariq said, we all we need. It is very, very interesting that so many of these events are coming together the way that they're coming together. Like, we just got done talking about, this whole situation with our brother Clarence Thomas, and now the situation that's going on with our brother R. Kelly. We we were just talking about in the space before I got in this one, they're brewing up a 2022, 2023 version of the 95 crime bill as we speak. Anybody who doesn't think that, bro, like you gotta wake up and just really, really smell the coffee, because it ain't no coincidence that Joe Biden is in office now, and we on code more than ever. Like, it's so essential for them to put together a crime bill. They're making us the face of crimes that they know damn well white people and people of other communities dominate from a behavioral standpoint. So, brother Tariq, brother Jason, brother Marcel, can y'all like really, really speak to that more? Because I feel like they're brewing up another crime bill that's gonna make that shit that happened in 1995 look like child's play. Thank you.
Well, at this point right now, they don't need another crime bill. They already got everything they want. I mean, in Georgia right now, you know, there was the rapper there. They, I forget his name off the top of my head. They're prosecuting him on the Georgia RICO. That's not under federal RICO. They got it at the state level now. So, truth be told, they've already got all the tools they need in place now.
Marcel, Tariq, did either one of y'all had a response for Free R. Kelly?
I'm sorry, I stepped away. What did he say real quick?
He said that he believes that there's another crime bill brewing, and we're so on code that they're gonna try to hit us hard. And I hope that I didn't mince your words, brother.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, look who's president. I mean, he's probably trying to break his old record. The last crime bill put more black people in bondage since the days of chattel slavery. So I'm sure he's going to try to exceed his old record. I wouldn't doubt it. Don't put nothing past this anti-black bigot that's in the White House and his go along to get along vice president.
Well, I appreciate that, Marcel. Let's go with Black again. Unmute your mic. Let's go.
Black again. You can unmute your mic now. Black again. Okay, moving on.
Moving on. Let's go to Spirit of 1811. B1.
B1 family. Hello, Tariq and Jason Black brothers. I respect you guys a lot. I'm gonna make this real quick. White supremacy. They use their economy to keep their power. Sage, you said something about protesting up there in New York for Pace University. If you can, just please let me know where I can donate money. I'm not all about the talking. I'm all about getting things done. B1.
Well, I was talking about pulling up. I wasn't really talking about. But anyway, go ahead, Joseph.
Well, I know that Marcel's still taking donations, right, Marcel? They can go to your website.
Yes, I am.
Okay,
Definitely.
so marcelforcongress.com, right? Is that
Yes, marcelcongress.com/donate.
And he's taken volunteers as well, right?
Of course, and repair Black America at marcelforcongress.com.
There you go. So moving right along, Sister Kiana, Black First Sister, go ahead.
Hey, thank you so much. Thank you all. Thank you, Sage and Justy, for holding the space and allowing me to speak. Shout out to the tribe. Peace to everybody in the room. I just wanted to speak on one of the lives that I heard Tariq do with the white guy who was talking about he was biracial and he deserved reparations, and he was basically a $5 FBA. And I wanted to talk about that because this is something that I know Tariq in particular, and shout out to Tariq. He's been talking about for a long time, and he's been predicting these people coming around. And the thing that I think really, really boggles my mind about the whole thing with this, because it's not just white people now, it's all people from all different demographics now coming around trying to identify as us. And these are people who have been telling us for the longest time that reparations is just a dream. We're never going to get it. We're never going to achieve it. Now, all of a sudden, we have people going as far as to take flags out of their bios and, come around us trying to claim to be us. You know what I mean? So it just lets me know personally that we are making strides. We are closer than we think with this.
Mm-hmm. That's absolutely true. And the sister made a very good point. You notice you don't see too many of those flags in bios no more. Back about 5, 6 years ago, boy, it was flags all over the place. It was like a Benetton ad on Twitter. Everybody had all of these foreign flags. Belize, Honduras, Jamaica, Haiti, the Dominican Republic. I mean, they were proudly displaying them flags. You don't see that now, do they? They don't show them flags no more because now they can't sneak among us with all of that rhetoric because we call them out. They are immediately invalidated when they try to speak on our issues and they're flying them flags now. You see the kind of work this brother got today with his Nigerian flag up there. So they know that's the kiss of death right now. So they are trying to hide their lineage so they can come among us. Now, white people are trying to do it. Like the sister spoke on, this white man called my broadcast the other day, and he's talking about he's a quarter black, so he's supposed to get reparations too. And I pointed out to him, you have to be qualified and you have to have labeled yourself as black for at least 10 years. And then he started babbling and explaining. So this is why we got to have all of these other rules in play, because I knew when we start getting reparations on a serious level, you're going to have all of these white people trying to claim that little 4 or 5% black DNA ancestry that they got. And let's be clear, everybody on the planet has some kind of black DNA. So they'll try to hold on to that. Remember, the reparations is about lineage and the paperwork. It's not about DNA. You can't even claim a Native American status using DNA anymore. You got to have the right paperwork for that, because they know that DNA is really unreliable as far as finding out what group came specifically from what place in the Americas. So our paperwork game is in order. Don't let people fool you with all of that. Well, you can't do the DNA. It's so sketchy. No, we ain't doing DNA. If we can trace our lineage back to the 1870 census, we're good money. So it's not that hard. It's not rocket science. And we set the rules, and we're letting them know what the rules are. Parents or grandparents or great-grandparents got to be on that 1870 census, and you have to be a person who's been classified as black for the last 10 years. I say take it further. You got to be either black or colored on your birth certificate. We should go there with it. So it's up to us to regulate these rules, family.
I just want to make it clear, y'all, if you're in this space, please report that anti-Black American tweet that Kachi made, and make sure you tag Twitter, because that tweet is still up there. Now, how many of us have had our accounts locked or maybe even suspended for saying something as simple as the word Negro, which is on some of our birth certificates? But this guy has literally said the Klan. He's called for lynching, and Twitter still has it up there. This is explicit anti-Black racism that Twitter has allowed for a long time, and we cannot let it go unscathed.
TBA, did you want to say something?
I agree with Marcel. I've had my Twitter account suspended for the same, when that singer was saying that you could get COVID from 5G cell phone reception. Got my Twitter suspended for saying that. That was enough for that. And yet this is still sitting up there. So, like I say, hey, maybe we'd be better off just letting Elon Musk buy the place. At least we know we're getting in. At least it just be on the table. As far as what Tariq was saying, the word is out. The word is out at this point. Everybody knows about the flags. The word is out. Everybody knows that people are checking the paperwork. They're checking the block. And they were checking to see whether or not this would just be a temporary thing. This is not temporary, people. This is the new normal. They already got the message after Trayvon Martin. They were waiting for that to die down after a few weeks. Didn't happen. Then they said, okay, maybe a few years. That didn't happen. It's a decade later. They got the point. This is the new normal. They just want to see how far we're going to move the needle. We're moving that son of the gun all the way damn way over. After Del Rio, Texas, they got the point. We're not caping for anybody else. It's not going to be reparations for anybody else. We're not gonna let anybody slide up in the DMs and say, "Hey, can you kick me a nickel back?" No, we're not doing that. Welcome to the new day.
The era of the pull-up is among us, ladies and gentlemen. Off code, gotta go. I know y'all thought I was joking, but we really could just send them back. They probably would go kicking and screaming, but that is an option. We're not gonna be here all night. This has been a hell of a build, so we're gonna get the speakers who are up on the stage to go. So, Harriet Tubman's Pistol, you can go.
Peace, power, and reparations, family. I love y'all. Tariq Nasheed, Jason Black, everybody. I love all of y'all. I just wanted to disperse this information right quick. Marcel, respectfully, HR 4238 overturned Negro on birth certificates. You can thank Obama for that. We looking to get that overturned, and we not playing games. Also, I put in the Jumbotron, Narcan, and Cobra. Please sign that petition to get them off of anything, any boards, anything that has to do with foundational Black Americans, reparations. Not only just Narcan and Cobra, because they can make sleeper cell groups, but anybody, and this goes for anybody who obstruct our lineage-based reparations, y'all are going to get out the paint. We not playing. Please sign that petition. I also want to promote, again, that petition to get us an anti-Black hate crime bill. We working on something with that behind the scenes. Also, I wanted to say that being a quote unquote Black owned business is not enough anymore. I want to keep reiterating that. If we need freedmen owned businesses, and we need stickers or something labeled saying that this is a freedmen owned business, that this is a foundational Black American owned business. But Black owned businesses is a code name for tethers to keep grifting. We not going for that no more. Another thing that I wanted to land on is that this delineation stuff, this needs to happen right now. So we need to get with the OMB in the United States Census. We're not waiting until 2030. America had enough time to repair us from delineation from the net designations of Negro, Black, all right, colored, mulatto, Afro American, and African American. That designation of African American needs to be retired because it's a misnomer. Love y'all.
We love you too, brother. Tariq, did you have something to say?
No, the brother spoke real good game, and that's some real talk that he's talking. And look, we're doing some good things out here in California. We're still on their bumper as far as the reparations out here. A lot of these movements that's going on, we have to keep our eye on the ball, watch every word that they use because they will try to slip in trick bag language. So as far as the reparations committee out here, we're still watching every single thing they do. When they form these reparation committees in your local cities around the country, family, watch their words. And if they're talking about minority or people of color, any little trick word in it, shut it down and then validate them loud and publicly. We can't have no games with none of these groups. We're going to be adamant about us dictating what the terms of reparations are. That means cash payments for foundational Black Americans, freedmen, descendants of slaves in America. No other group. When they use any other term besides that, even the term African American, that's not a good enough term. Black, that's not a good enough term. Minority, person of color, aggrieved group, none of these code words. We have to stay on their bumper and make sure the language is correct. Like our brother Neely Fuller says, the white supremacists, they know how to trip us up with words and language. So we need to be on their bumper about the words and language.
Absolutely. I guess we're gonna move right along to Black Native. You've been waiting patiently, so you first, then Dewan, and then Phoenix.
B1 family, I like to thank you for having a platform where we can truly express how we feel about these. I'm calling them invasion of the body snatchers. I'm calling them chameleons who've been running a game on us for about maybe 20 years, 20 to 30 years. They've come into our communities, they've come into our spaces, they've come into our HSBCUs and tried to pretty much become us and take over the things that our family and our forefathers have fought for. And I was listening to Jason Black, his last show, excuse me, and he had a caller who called from South Africa. And this man, and they were discussing what was going on in South Africa.
Do me one favor, family. I'm so sorry for me and your sister. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna let you go. Again, I don't have these brothers up here all night. I know it's very exciting to have both of these brothers together. I do not want to waste their time. So please, family, when you come up here to speak, you have 60 seconds to tell these brothers what you want to tell them. We'll give them a chance to respond, both of them, and then you have to go. So please, people, land your plane within 60 seconds. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Well, I just wanted to say that the guy came up there and he said the people in South Africa were afraid of white people, even though they're the minority. And that struck me because they come over here with all this gusto and all this rah-rah, but in their own land, they're fearful. So, like I said, I'm over in North Carolina. I reached out to someone, and I'm trying to get reparations going over here in North Carolina. And with that, I land my plane. Thank you for hearing me out, and y'all have a blessed day.
Peace to you, sister. Thank you so much. I think we said Phoenix. Go ahead. No, I'm sorry. I said Dewan first. Are you there, brother Dewan?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, thank you real quick. And I want to give much love, honor, respect, and reverence to Brother Jason Black and Tariq. You guys have been the messengers, and we are the people who are carrying out the message. So I appreciate y'all. But I want to say one thing real quick. One thing that we've seen here is we've codified around the term black. We've been told for so long we can't be black. We got to be a Moor. We got to be a Hebrew Israelite. We got to be a midget 1 foot bigger than the other. We got to be anything other than black to get our rights. These brothers have told us, we're good where we are. Let's go ahead and label ourselves who we are, and let's get our reparations based on that. And it's like I equate it to music. Every time black people have stood on our own, whether it be bebop, funk, and hip hop, all three genres were bad words when it came to them folks. We stood on it, and all three genres ended up being the world's music. And those are the three specific genres of music that those folks ain't took from us. They ain't took it because we own it. And as long as we own it, they can't take it. So I appreciate y'all. And as long as we keep saying black, don't let these cats get you off the way saying we got to be anything other than black. We've gone far on black, and we're going to cross the finish line being black. Thanks.
Black first, brother. Thank you so much for speaking on that. Go ahead, Phoenix.
Hey, everybody. Peace, love, and reparations. Tariq, Marcel, Jason, Sage, and Just Steve. I'm going to do it in 60 seconds. One thing I want to say is that we have to watch where we put our money, where we spend our money, and how we spend it. I'm saying that because we need to pull our money back, our dollars. They'll start to really hear us when we start doing that. Also, there is a space called The City. It is our own Black safe space, social media place, and you can also do a lot of things in there, right? I put it in the Jumbotron, click the link. You can also do business. There is a supply chain in The City where we can actually do Black business, FBA owned, Freedmen owned business from farm to transportation to everything. So please click The City. We do have a safe space, verified only, and I will land there. Thank you. God bless you all.
Beautifully put. Thank you so much for keeping it concise. News Trotter, then Divine, and then Red Joker. Your hand's not up, but you can go after that.
Can you guys hear me?
Loud and clear.
Good.
Yeah. I just want to say hi to the space and how everybody's doing. And I had a couple quick questions. How dangerous do you guys think the Everson reparations is to the overall reparation movement? Because we all know it's a farce and a scam. And also, we have a major water crisis happening in a majority black city in Jackson, Mississippi that rivals Flint. How can we come together and get this city some major attention? Because you have a predominantly black city that's really suffering. People have to drive 30 minutes away just to get clean drinking water. They can't even bathe in the water. They have to get a water bottle. So how can we come together and help this city as well as the Everson reparations scam. And I'll land my plane.
One thing I would say, News Toda, is what you're doing, what Tariq's doing, what Black Authority is doing. We have to support the new Black media, y'all, because the mainstream media is not covering it. I am just like barely an hour from Charleston. Charleston has the most toxic water in America. I'm like barely an hour from Denmark, South Carolina. They haven't had clean water in over 10 years. Bernie Sanders had to bring a truck filled with, yet Wayne knows about it, and Black Alpha, if he's in the room, knows about it. Bernie Sanders had to bring a truck filled with pallets of bottled water for people to drink and bathe, while Clyburn collects a six-figure salary and does nothing about it. So the reason, if it wasn't for the new Black media, we were not, the mainstream media is not going to cover these things. So, y'all, we have to support the new Black media. The same way the mainstream media gets money from commercials and advertisement that people pay them to show, and trust me, they get paid a lot because I did commercials. We have to start donating to the new Black media platform, which includes yours. That's one. As far as Evanston goes, look, y'all, what's going to matter ultimately and what's get reparations is a federal initiative. Only the federal government has the resources to do what's necessary. We have to all be running for office and be running on a true reparations platform federally, because they're going to do all type of little distractions, but we can't be distracted from what's really reparations. So that's my take on it.
Well, I agree with Marcel. Certainly, we need to beat the drum about the feds. California, however, that's a bellwether. You knock down California, and it's only a matter of time before you see it spread everywhere. So there's a reason why I've supported in California. We've been monitoring in California, making sure it stays straight, because California can be a model. California, if it's done properly, will be a model to everyone else because it takes away the excuses for it. Also, California is pivotal because, in my opinion, because a lot of the new money, your Silicon Valley corporations and whatnot are based out of California. They're subject to California state law. So even if you can't get something done at the federal level, you'd be amazed what we could get done to, Twitter or Facebook, Meta, YouTube, Google, just through California alone, because it's my contention that all these corporations owe us reparations as the descendants of slaves, as beneficiaries, as people who have been continuing this, specifically targeting us. And the good thing about that is when you make a law like this, you don't have to abide by a court of law saying that you have to prove intent and garbage like that. You can just make the law what it is and go from there. So pushing events is a very important thing. So certainly by the federal level, but there's in some key states in particular, California being the top of that list, you can get a lot done knocking that down locally, or at least at the state level.
Thank you for your response to your his question. News Totter, you got your response to that. Tariq, did you have a response on that? Or did you just agree with Marcel and TBA because everything is good to go?
Yes, indeed. That was a very good point that both of those brothers make. And to build on of what Marcel was saying, a lot of brothers and sisters in these local areas, you have to let us know, meaning me, Marcel, Jason, Professor Black Truth, other people in the new Black media. You guys have to reach out to us and let us know what's going on in your places locally. A lot of times in these local areas, everybody's on the gossip sites and the YouTube music videos and all that. You're not really paying attention to the political sector. Let us know. Reach out to us to let us know what's going on in your city. When stuff like this goes on, don't let us know about this 3 and 4 months down the line after all the damage is done. Keep an eye on what's going on in your town politically, because we can't keep our eyes on every little thing in every little town. If you let us know what's going on, email us, let us know what's going on the grassroots so that we can blow it up on a national level. I have to beg families sometimes to let me know what the police officers' names are who did some damage or harm to your family in some of these local places. Because a lot of times the family, they're sitting around, they don't know who to reach out to because they're so used to watching rap videos all day. We got to be more politically astute, more consciously astute, and know who to contact when something goes down. So that's my advice to the families out there.
For me, myself, I look for things. The whole reason I got behind Marcel was because I saw a video of him confronting Clyburn. That struck a major chord with me. I'm a real big believer in people. If something's happening and things, bring me some original video. Bring me something. If you're gonna say something's happening on the spot, Ferguson resonated with me because I saw people's cell phone video from it on the spot. Didn't have to wait for the national media, because a lot of the times, by the time you all get this stuff from the national media, it's already played out or it's well down the road. So for me myself, and I'm just speaking about me personally, I really look for things where people have shown me, okay, if they're doing a little bit of footwork, that goes a long way towards showing me that you're serious about this and that this is something that really you're giving me something more to go on. I'm not just relying on the national media. So that kind of thing for me really helps.
And yes, it's important for us to get it first, because by the time it gets to the national,
yes,
they're going to spin the hell out of it. All right. Y'all got to get it to us first, because by the time CNN gets it, boy, they're going to flip it. They're going to dig up the victim's information and put all of that stuff out there and kill the momentum.
Remember with Philando Castile, Tariq was one of the first people to talk about that when it came. Yeah, because it got to him first. So when it gets to us first in that regard, that's major. That's what I'm saying. If you can get us the video, get us the officers' names. Don't not just, hey, did you see that this happened? Get us some of those key details. That's the kind of stuff we really need. Like the mass shooting up there in Buffalo. They're talking to the big Jamaican looking dude. We don't even know who it is. So like I say, just things like that's the kind of stuff we need to have. We don't have the resources of a multi-billion-dollar corporation, but we got the family on the street. So don't just be sitting there looking. Get us the information.
Down in Louisiana a couple of years ago, there was a brother who got attacked by a race soldier outside the hospital. In fact, the video of that is going viral again. That video has resurfaced. The brother was attacked, then he turned around and beat the race soldier off of him, if you guys remember that. The brother got arrested. We bailed him out of jail that night. He didn't spend 24 hours in jail. We bailed him out. Then we got with the media down there. I started doing interviews, going in on the police, checking them. Then I got the police officer's name eventually, found out his record. He has a record of beating black folks. He beat up a sister some years back. I talked to her and got the information, and we got in front of it. I got that brother's charges dropped. This is why it's important to get us that information ASAP, family. Keep your eyes on what's going on in your local area. You can't be bullshitting around all the time. Y'all got to let us know what's happening so that we can do work for you. We're here to help you. We just need eyes and ears on the ground all over. We got to be cognizant of what's going on out there.
I agree with that, because a lot of this is a lack of information. We spend so much of our time walking around, quite honestly, not having all the facts that we need. And it's important for us to have that, because you got Fox News, CNN. If we're wrong, they'll damn sure put us on the front cover of something then. If we're wrong, they'll damn sure do that. That's why it's important for us to have as much information as possible to act, because if we make a mistake, all these outlets have been ignoring us. All of a sudden, they'll figure out what our name is because they're waiting for that kind of thing. We don't have the necessary support to get this information. Other news outlets can file Freedom of Information Acts and stuff. And these are the kind of things that we need to have before it gets that far along. If there's been a shooting or something, we need to get that information as quickly as we can. Because by the time something else comes up, you don't have the time or the resources to go tracking it down.
Mm-hmm. And it's important, family, when something happens, let us know who's who the race soldiers are, because what happens is if something happens to somebody's family, the first thing y'all do is look out for Crump. All right. I'm not trying to beat up on Crump, but y'all think, okay, let me get a bag. And it ain't going to work like that all the time. Let's get some justice first. Let us know what's going on so we can help you and your damn family before you start thinking about how can you get a bag out of it.
With that in mind, you guys, y'all need to support the new black media. 2 cash apps that you need to hit right now would be $, the Black Channel, $ King Flex 818. Do it, because nobody else is supporting people who support us. So if you are about it, say it with your chest, with your war
I also
chest.
want to say, just
Get-
even, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Marcel.
Now, I want to say that some people are getting messages from Twitter saying that this guy's accounts have been locked, but he's still tweeting. So I'm not sure why Twitter's sending people messages who's reported his hateful tweet saying it's been locked, and he's still tweeting and even laughing about through some messages. So he still thinks it's a joke. And I just told you all, it's our obligation to show him that it's not.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. I mean, I want you all to understand something right there. That's good. Nobody's going to believe us until we start taking names. It's not enough to get outraged. They're not going to believe us till we start taking names. I say let's start with him.
I will add this too. People who do not support or protect their advocates will find themselves with no advocates. And that's from our brother, Professor Black Truth.
So again, that would be $, the Black Channel, $King Flex 818, and $, Professor Black Truth. Because goddamn, we've got 3 men who are very selfless in this role, and right now they're giving us their time. So, Divine, you, then Pretty, then Jonathan.
Before you go, Devon, I just want to add this. If y'all don't think that these brothers are genuine, and to all the tethers that's trying to come up here, the brother just offered to bail me out. Now, I've never seen Jason a day in my life, and he just offered to bail me out once I pull up on dude tomorrow. So again, don't speak to us about our brothers not being genuine or our teachers not being genuine to us, because they 100% have our back. And with that, Devon, it's on you.
Good looking out, family. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, sir. You good?
Perfect. I know I got 60 seconds, so I'm going to make it fast. Shout out to Tariq, TBA, and the rest of New Black Media that supports us and elevates our stories. I know we get a lot of flack from, I see some of the names in the chat that be giving me flack about New York City and what goes on with the tethers up here and things of that nature. But I want you to understand that is exactly what we're up against. And so, you have these tethers that are first and second generation immigrants in our city. But what happens is online, they talk tough. And like we said, they're already taking those flags out the bios. But on the ground, we have the term code switch. They tether switch, right? And what they do is when they get around us, there's no flags, there's no accent, there's no Joloff, there's no oxtail. You understand what I'm saying? So they get around us and they just blend right in. And so, and then you have the Pan-Africanists and the Democratic shills giving them cover because they're helping to do the job of erasing us and keeping us away from standing strong on our lineage, right? But I will say this, because of the grassroots and what we've done on the ground, myself and the U.S. Freedmen Project and the family online and offline, we were able to get that Narcan and Cobra New York reparations bill up out the paint. That shit is dead, right? And so right now, because of what we did, because of the call to action, myself and our organization here in New York are at the helm of the new New York reparations bill that's coming up. So fingers crossed, we got some stuff in the paint, we got some stuff in the fire. We'll let you guys know exactly what's going on. In addition to that, shout out to Tariq for elevating that video where the local politicians in New York. That was myself and my team. We went to that event and we put the Juneteenth event on the Summer Jam screen where they showed that they wasn't gonna put the Juneteenth flag up. They was gonna put the red, black, and green. So we're out here on the ground, and the great thing about it is that the grassroots out here, we're the only organization fighting for our lineage here. The NAACP, the Urban League, all those organizations are compromised, and we've known that. So we're out here, we're standing strong. We standing 10 toes down for the family. And right now, I know Marcel's been on my ass all day long. We've been in the DMs and the inboxes and shit. I have been reaching out to my PACE connections around the city, alumni and shit like that, to put a pressure upon dude. I know Sage say he about to pull up. So Sage hit me in the DMs and see what we can do. And on that, I will put my iron horse into the station. Feeling we all we got, but like we've been saying all night, and I've been hearing it, we all we need. Let's stay on code. Let's stay 10 toes down. We got this.
Keep me on DM and let me know the precinct if it comes to that.
I got you.
Go ahead, Pretty. It's on you. Black first, sister.
Good evening, Black First. First of all, let me say it's an honor to be in here with Tariq and Professor and the Black Authority together. It's such a humbling thing to be a part of. But one of the things I wanted to kind of piggyback off a couple things. I'll try to keep it brief as possible. Is that there are a lot of people I've experienced firsthand that are not FBAs that will pose as FBAs. I do have a nonprofit that I jump started, and there were people of African descent, immigrants, posing as FBA to be a part of it because they want to know what we're doing. They want to know how we're moving and what we're doing. And it didn't really, feel good within my spirit because of that. And as I posted on one of my posts on Twitter, is that like once they realized that they were not electing it to my committee, as far as my secretary and everything like that, those leadership positions, they pretty much jumped ship. So Black people, we have to be very careful when we're thinking that someone looks like us. They may not be for us. I remember meeting a few people, Haitian, Jamaican, and I'll ask them, that's one of my questions all the time when I meet new Black people: are you pro-Black? They don't understand necessarily be one, but you have to understand what pro-Black is no matter where you are, because colonization is everywhere throughout the world. And so, I asked them that if they don't understand that they can't be a part of my tribe. So that's one thing. The next thing is that, I'm not really sure how I feel about these various organizations state by state, because I feel like, as far as the reparations movement, because I feel like each state, if it would tend to kind of lead the federal government to believe, okay, well, we'll let the state handle reparations, and whatever the state gives you, that's just what it is, and it may not be fair, it may not be equally yoked. So I just feel like that's something
There
that
you go.
we should be very mindful of, and maybe more so coming up with the organization on a federal level, on a nationwide level, and then organizing local charters in order to ensure that we carry out our reparations mission. Maybe follow a blueprint like Dr. Carl Anderson, and then we take that and put that into organizations that we spread throughout the country. And it's just to say, I don't know how I feel about the state level, because I feel like they're going to rip us off. And so we should just be mindful that I know everyone means well, but I do feel like there should be a nationwide coalition for everyone for reparations that will benefit everyone on a equally scaled level. And I'm out. Be one. Peace and blessings to everybody. Good night.
There you go.
Thank you. All right, fam. I'm gonna be out of here. I got to go in here and tend to this baby. But I appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. It was a great conversation, chopping it up with the family. Appreciate Brother Jason Black, Brother Marcel, Brother Sage, Sister Eve. Shout out to Wani down there. Y'all need to let Wani speak. That's just the spits hot fire. And I like to thank everybody for contributing to the American Maroon Kickstarter campaign. We made our goal. Much respect to the family. Much, much love to you guys.
Big shout out to Tariq. We appreciate that. And congratulations on the baby, of course.
Thank you.
As always. Definitely, Tariq's always said that we become a place where other people want to dump their trash. And you also have to understand, a lot of folks see us as a place to dump their trash. They also see us as a place of a big ass soup kitchen. So up until now, they've just been able to just bring their bowl up, and every time we start dishing up something, they're like, hey, where's my bowl at? It's like, your bowl is back over there in Zimbabwe where you left it. So as far as what we're doing right now, we're taking care of what we got to take care of here. So when she says that, you got a lot of non-FBAs pulling up to the plate when we're doing something, just understand, up until now, they've been treated like it's a big soup kitchen. Like I said, there's going to be a rude awakening to a lot of people. The soup kitchen is damn near officially closed for everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Brother Flex, before you leave, I want to let you know I can't DM you or Jason. So send me like an email or something that I can reach out to you, just in case anything goes down.
Okay, check your DM, Sage. I sent you one. Did you not get it?
Hold on one sec. Yes, sir. Okay, cool. Got you. Say less. Thank you. Appreciate you.
All right. So with that being said, Jonathan, you are going to be our last speaker. And then if anybody has any final remarks, or if our host, who's been so gracious letting everybody speak tonight, has any final remarks, that's how we're going to do it. Go ahead, Jonathan.
All right, thank you. I just want to kind of continue with the momentum that's been going on. Like the other, Pretty Z had said before, I feel like we need a national organization that can handle whatever we need to handle, basically, whether it's politics, whether it's people running. Like Marcel's been saying, we need 1,000 Marcels all over the board, putting pressure politically on all of these candidates that we feel like are ops. We need to have pressure on the candidates whenever they speak. They don't need to be comfortable speaking anywhere. We need to be there all the time. And I feel like as well, we need to be going ham and protecting. You know how before we had that army dude who, bullied that guy, and then they pulled up at his house. We need to have an organization that can go in to all of these different areas, and we can fly them in or whatever, or pay money to donate them and go in and just make sure that our people are protected no matter where we are.
Real quick. That was South Carolina. That's how it is in South Carolina. That was South Carolina that happened. We pulled up and ran them out the state.
Exactly.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. We need that. We need that nationally, and we need to be aggressive with it. We need to be like basically how Khalid Muhammad was, basically, or he wasn't scared of nobody. When they lynched James Byrd, Khalid was right there. We need that again, and I see it. I see the momentum happening, and we need a political organization. We don't need to be running this two Democratic Republican thing. Both of the parties are ops. We already know that. So why not get our own party and make sure that our people are provided for too? Because they need to eat, they need clothes, and they need transportation, and we can provide all of that. And one more thing, when it comes to reparations, if when they start talking about we don't have the funds or this and that, we could just tell them the Federal Reserve gives banks and these banks who are insolvent trillions and trillions of dollars every single month. They gave them a whole bunch during the pandemic, and they tried to play it off like they didn't do that. The Federal Reserve can give us endless money. It's endless money. They just print money and give it to the banks and pretend like nobody else knows what's going on. So I'm gonna land right there and just be like, thank you for having me on. So thanks.
Okay, I want to do this since this man always does this at his show. Jason, I'll give you the last word.
Well, I think it's really good. It's good to have places here where the conversation is spreading. What I've always said is there needs to be, people pat me on the back and things, but there needs to be a million Jason Blacks. And you don't have to wait for my permission. You don't have to wait for a permission slip. You don't have to wait for somebody to say, hey, that's okay. You get up and go do it on your own. You've already got the permission to do that. If you are hearing this message, don't ask who's the resistance. You are the resistance. But as far as us getting together and being on code, that's very, very important as well. You need to have a lot of disciplined people. That's good. The next step is to get on code and together. And let's be very, very clear about folks here. This is not a hate fest. This is a love fest, is what it is. This is a love fest. It's about time that we started loving ourselves. It's also about time that we started recognizing who some of the Trojan horses are that have been used so that we can correct the situation. Let's be clear about that. We're here to correct something. Something has been wrong. It's been hella wrong for a while. And we've been trying to be nice and speak in muted tones and just ask subtly. And hey, brother, that's kind of weird happening over there with folks who are doing things that they know full well what they're doing. And up until now, we were acting as if, well, maybe they're not sure what's going on. They're very certain what's happening. The only thing that's happening now is we're just not pretending anymore that we don't see what's so obviously in front of us. And we are going to make some enemies. As the brother said here earlier, there's going to be some awkward moments. Yeah, we need to start making some awkward moments. You damn right. We need to start making some awkward moments. We started that in white society, making some awkward moments when they say some things. Now we have to make it with everybody else to let them know, yeah, from here on in, we're not covering anymore. We're not playing dumb. We're not in denial. Everybody who's off code with us, we're off code with you. It's just that simple. And this is not a temporary thing. This is the way it's going to be going forward. This is how it's going to be from here on in. So anybody who thinks this is just a temporary thing, or this is just because of the summer, or this is just because it's an election year, you better go and check what happened after Trayvon Martin. This is the new normal. We are not our parents. We are not the civil rights generation. We got a whole different agenda, and integration ain't it. So in the words of Brother Khalid Muhammad, buckle in. It's going to be a rough ride, guys.
I want to say thank you to everyone that tuned into the space. Again, like my brother Jason said, you are the resistance. You do your part. Let them do their part. Again, love to the family. Love to everyone who came up here and spoke. Love to everyone who tweeted out the space. I really appreciate that. Shout out to my brother Marcel for bringing this to my attention in the beginning. Shout out to you, Sonny. You already know. As far as I want to close out with saying this, and I'm stealing from the brother, but this concludes tonight's spaces. Thank you. Have a good night.